Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 39 of Direwolf20's Enigmatica 2 Expert Series. Today we're making boron, ferroboron, that's thorium. Oh, do we need boron? Is boron a different thing? What's boron? We've got boron ore, we just didn't process it, right? Thorium, boron, let's do like a stack of it, because why not? Boron ore. Yes. Mumbling to myself at the beginning of the episode. That's how we roll here at Direwolf20's place. So what we did last episode was get better power flow around the base cooking. What we're going to do today is work towards getting better power gen going in our base. So that's what I'm cooking up. Wow, that needs a lot of power. Holy cow. Tough alloys. That's some serious power drain right there. Oh, we're out of power, that's why. I've been doing lots of ore processing and prepping for this setup. So as per usual, let's go ahead and get that guy capped out so we can boost up some power into him. Wow, that's a lot of power needed. Process power, 1500 RF a tick. Wow. Tough alloys take a lot of power. Today we learned. Cool. And you should be filling back up with power again. Nice. Good thing we have that, backup method for generating lots of power real quick as needed. So what I've been doing off camera between episodes is prepping all the machines we're going to need to make what we need to make. So we need another one of these guys, which I should have the resources for, and one of these. Cool. I'd like a Mekanism pump from Mekanism electric pump. That looks reasonably craftable. Cool. And that's pretty close to everything we need, I think. So what we're going to do, and you might even notice a little guest in my inventory who's new. What we're going to do is set up a pump that pumps water into an electrolytic separator that creates hydrogen and oxygen. The hydrogen will be combined with biofuel, which is made with something that's going to be grown in the cloche and then crushed, and then it's combined in the pressurized reaction chamber to make ethylene, which will then go into the gas burning generator, which will produce power for us. Does that sound cool? So to repeat, ethylene from Mekanism is made in the PRC with water and hydrogen and biofuel, right? And the hydrogen is going to come from water with our electrolytic separator of hydrogen and oxygen, right? And then the biofuel is going to come from pretty much anything in here, right? So now there's a few options we can go with. Let's see if there's anything in particular that's better than anything else. Melons give you 4. That's not a bad option. Baked potatoes give you 4. Wheat gives you 4. That's probably where we're gonna go. Regular potatoes give you 4. That's also an option. So potatoes and wheat and carrots also give you 4. So pretty much all the things give you 4. That's not bad at all. So let's go with potatoes, carrots. We have carrots. We have potatoes outside somewhere. Whoosh. Yeah, let's go with potatoes. I like potatoes. Potatoes are a good food. Who doesn't like potatoes? Seriously. They're so good. So what we're going to do is get some of that, get some dirt. I've got some dirt. But we're also going to want 7 bone blocks that we can convert into bone meal. Nice and easy peasy. Cool. And let's set this whole shebang up. We're also going to need a sink. Well, instead of using the pump, we could use the sink, right? That's a better way to go. I think that's definitely a better way to go. Where's my clay? I should have a healthy amount. I always forget about the sink. Right? And I always get yelled at for forgetting about the sink. And that's my bad. But we should be able to make a sink. Because we have a bucket. And that'll probably be easier than doing the pump, right? Yay, a sink. All right. We're also going to want Mekanism's fluid pipes if we have them. Mechanical pipes. Transfers fluids. Logistical transporters would probably not be a bad thing to have in this setup. Well, probably, I don't know if we need gas. Because I think the only gas in this setup, that's not true. I don't know if we need gas pipes though, but we probably want a tank that can store gas. So that would be this guy, a gas tank. We're probably going to want 2 of them. One for the hydrogen, one for the oxygen. And the ethylene might just get piped directly. And I'm not sure if the ethylene is a fluid or a liquid. Because there's liquid ethylene and then there's ethylene, which means that what we're producing is a gas. So should we do one more for the gas? I think so. I think that sounds cool. So that looks super cool. And you might also notice that I dug out a little nifty area in here. And you might also notice that it's lit up with sigils of the blood lamp. I went ahead and made that between episodes. FYI, garden cloches, slightly different recipe. In my opinion, actually a little bit cheaper and easier to make than normal. It's a thermodynamic fabricator recipe, 2 treated wood planks, an ejector upgrade from IC2, a heavy engineering block, and an LV wire connector. That's how you make the garden cloche, just as an FYI. So let's start with setting this whole thing up, right? Which shouldn't be too bad. And basically what we're going to do is tap right into there. That's where we're going to get our advanced universal cable cooking. Cool. So we're going to figure that out, right? We probably want to eventually end up with a gas burning generator here. And I think we can set it. I don't know exactly how you work. It looks like you insert on one side. Let's get the proper doohickey for this guy. Wrench mode. Rotate, yes, that looks cool. Okay, that's neat. So that might be the thing goes in there and then the power comes out there. I think that works. So we'll call that good, right? We're gonna want the ethylene here. We're gonna want the thing making ethylene, which is the pressurized reaction chamber here. And your side config for gases will be to output on the right-hand side. Perfect, right? So output dark blue on the right-hand side. And then you need to input fluids and items, right? So how about for fluids, we'll import on the bottom and the left, okay? And then for items, we'll input on the back, and you'll eject out the front, because we're going to be creating items that we need to void, right? And we'll see this whole flow in a minute, right? So then to get fluids, or to get gases on the left, right? Because we did side config. Fluids is the back. Yes. Fluids should actually be the bottom. Yeah, I want water to come in the bottom. We want gas to come in the left. Yeah, because it's hydrogen's a gas, right? Derp. So electrolytic separator here, you don't have a sidedness config, but I think you'll be all right. Hopefully I can just pipe water into the bottom of you. Okay, so let's just do the sink can go here with you guys. So that should fill you up with water. Cool. And you're electrolytically separating hydrogen and oxygen already. I don't want you to be oxygen though, do I? I want you to be hydrogen, pretty sure. Right? Oxygen, liquid ethylene, substrate. That makes HDPE pellets. But we want hydrogen to be biofuel. Right. We really want hydrogen to be there. Ugh, I always hate this. It's a little bit tricky to get it to behave the way you want it to. That should be cool though, right? Now you've got hydrogen in you, right? Cool, gas, hydrogen, perfect. That's what we want, right? And as power goes in, we'll be good to go. Speaking of power, we'll probably want to run this line to all these machines eventually. Perfect, right? Because this power is going to be the power that feeds the generator, as it were. Actually, no, you're a bad setup. I don't like you. I really really want you here, don't I? So that you don't connect and create a power loop. That should be fine. As long as we're not creating a power loop, I'm good. Okay, yeah, that's good. I just wanted to loop around this wire. Okay. So with that good, you're producing power. You're going to output it out the top. You've got hydrogen. We're going to need oxygen to be a tank, right? And you're basically going to just be a voiding tank, right? So dumping excess. So you'll create oxygen, or oxygen will go in here and it voids excess. That's pretty much what's up. So that this thing doesn't backlog on oxygen production. All right, so with that all set up, we should be halfway there, which is cool. No, not you. You. And you. Should get me going, right? So you're now creating oxygen, creating hydrogen, and the hydrogen, I want to configure this guy to output to the right, which means that you'll start getting the hydrogen out of the gas tank. Cool beans? All right, now the last stage of this is going to be the cloche. And the cloche shouldn't be too shenaniganry, right? But basically we need power. Which I think if I do that means you can connect your power up that way. You should also be able to have fluids. Come in the bottom. Yes, fluid in the bottom, bone meal here, dirt here, and potatoes there. You should now be running. Beautiful. And where do you output to? Right there. So what we want is a drawer. Wow, you don't have any wood? You do now. You know, let's make 2 of them. Yeah, we need the key. We need another one of these so that we can make one of these. And then we're going to want the void upgrade for that. Cool. I feel like we're finally getting somewhere technically in this pack, and that's a little bit exciting to me. So with that, you auto output there. We lock that dude, and then we throw the void upgrade in him. So now he'll produce potatoes until he runs out of potatoes and runs out of storage space in there, and he'll just keep making potatoes. Cool. And we need the crusher to feed into this PRC, right? So ultimately what we need, where did I say you were going to get items from? The back, huh? We might want items to come in the top. So you won't input there, you're going to input there, and that should be cool, right? So what we need, what we're going to have to do is have the crusher sit here probably. Trying to make this like nicely compacted. Right? And you're going to be good to go crushing wise. Okay. We'll have logistical transporters here. You know what? You can probably, let's do... You go off. Okay. And then you, items go, bottom is input. Yeah, and top can be output. Okay. That works for me. All right, so you're producing tons of potatoes, and you're crushing them into biofuel, right? And then the biofuel is going to go into this dude with the logistical transporters. All right, and the biofuel goes in, and the PRC now, for what looks like a healthy amount of RF cost. Are we, like, dying on power? Not terrible, but wow, you're really struggling to maintain RF power, huh? What's your beef, stranger? Why are you using so much power? Like, there's no way we're draining 5,000 R for tick here, right? I want to say that's not happening. Using 2 R for tick. Yes, I didn't think that was happening. I did not think that was happening. So you should be input from there, right? So your gaseous output should be to the right. Auto eject on. Cool. So you've got ethylene in there now. See that? Now, why are you not receiving power? Is like a super good question. Anybody else wondering why this block is not receiving power? Side config, energy, input on the back. Is that why? Yeah, it is. Nice. That's why. Okay, so we're cool now. We're really good, actually. So now your only job shall be to output to the right. But before we do that, let's get some speed and power upgrades from Mekanism. What I'd like to do probably is teach you how those work. Now, I know there's going to be some stuff that you can't auto-craft yet, but I want to at least get it into the system, right? So that and that, right, is what's needed here. We'll make an interface dude at some point, but at least we know now, right? So that if I want, how many of these do we want, right? Theoretically, let's say 4 speed and 8 power each. So that's 1, 2, 3 sets. Let's do 24 each. Let's just do 24, okay? So for this, we're gonna need like 10 more, right? So that needs more osmium dust, glass, and enriched alloy. So like for iron, let's just go ahead and get a stack and drop it into our redstone dude over here. And you need more redstone. So let's get half a stack of you enriched. Cool. You can go in there and you can speed that bit up a little bit. See how much more power those pipes can transfer? I can speed this up as much as I want and not a problem. I'm like constantly checking to see how my time in a bottle is to see if I'm like having a big loss. But I think so far we're cool. And then some glass, which I actually thought I had more of, but maybe not. See how fast that is? I could even max it out. That is shenanigans, but that uses a lot of time from the time in a bottle. All right, and then we want osmium. Let's just have a good handful on hand, right? And gold dust are needed for this, right? And we're going to want 24 of each of these. Right, so we want 10 more of you. Boom. And then we're going to want... You know what? Can we just get a full 30? Nah, we need more of those. Oh boy, why are we out of power? Are we drained over here? We are. I didn't want to hook up this power just yet. Sleeping through the night. And the last, hopefully, time acceleration that's needed on our solar. Just give me a little burst to get me back online. Right? And then 24 is exactly what we need. We're missing 1. That is awesome. Let's make 32 more, because you always need more of these things. Let's be honest. And considering all the speeding up I just did, it makes sense that we struggled a little bit on stuff, power-wise. I mean, think about how much power we just burned speed upgrading those things. That's funny. All right, so then 24U. Cool. So that'll get me enough of those. And then when these are done crafting, and we should be good. 24. Nice. All right. So then downstairs here, you need 8 of these. You need 8 of these. And you need 8 of these, right? So now your power needs are dropping pretty regularly. RF, 120 RF a tick, right? And then we're at, yeah, 120 RF a tick. Cool. And you, fully implemented with 8 energies, are at 10 RF a tick. And you, fully energied, are sitting at 200 milli RF a tick. I think that's like less than 1, right? So let's do 8 energies and see how bad of an idea that might be. You might only need 4. And we'll go with 4 on you as well. Not too shabby. Oh, we need to deal with substrates. Hold on, we need a drawer for substrates. I forgot about those things. I was like, why are we not using power? Oh, right. We're gonna need another drawer with another. Give me that. Void upgrade, because we need substrates to be dealt with. Now you might be able to do that without any auto eject items. Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. And those substrates we will have a use for later, right? But now you're producing a pretty hefty amount. For 20 RF a tick, that's not bad, right? You're producing, I mean, you could probably have a little bit more speed. And how are you? You're not bad. Are you a net gain of hydrogen? No, you're a net loss. So if I want everything to be balanced properly, I should have speed upgrades on everybody. Okay, so you're producing and storing a decent amount of ethylene over here. What's your internal buffer of gas? I'm not too sure. I'm pretty sure the way this works is that the more gas in the backlog, the faster it burns and the more RF a tick we get. So I'd like, when I dump this into here, for it to be a pretty large amount, right? So now you're using needed. You might be choking a little bit on power. Is that true? It is. All right, let's kick this thing on. You ready? So output and hello. Psst, this is the part where you accept things. Auto eject on. Hey, there we go. Ethylene. Hooray! You might actually be kind of annoying. That might be the power output. Okay, cool. So you're producing, max output is 11.8 thousand RF a tick. We need a better wire. We need a better wire. That is a thing. We're producing lots of power. We need a better wire. So we're gonna have to deal with a couple things here. First off, you should actually be working pretty good. No? What I might do, because this is super dire wired, right? Let's set you side config back to be green, because I'm pretty sure that's considered the back. I'd like you guys to not connect, but I don't know that Mekanism can do that. Is that true? If I do that, can you guys not connect? Yeah, I don't think there's a way to stop those two from connecting. Not super clean, at least. That's the problem. Temporary. I'm just testing. I want to get this. I want to get this guy behaving a little bit. Just want to make this thing behave before we get too crazy with this, right? This being here might be a little bit of a problem. So what I'm going to do maybe even lower one more. The only trick with these, and unless I just don't know how to do it, is I don't think you can make it. So let's rotate you then so that your green is there. You can go out there. I don't know if there's a way to make it so that two adjacent guys don't connect, right? So now are you pushing on that RF? Configure items. You do seem to be. Yeah, I think the cable just can't handle it. So that's cool. All right, so let's get better cabling. I think that should be our game plan here. So you've got 5,440 RF in you, right? So let's get, I think we need a diamond alloy, right? To upgrade these guys. So let's get 2 sets of diamond-based alloys. And I'll clean up the mess of the floor over there in a minute once I figure out how my stuff's gonna work out. Okay. So you get upgraded. Elite cables can do 25,000 RF a tick. Sweet. That's probably where we're going to want to be. Let's see if we can make this just behave itself a little bit better. I really don't want to have to do this, is pretty much what it comes down to. So if I can avoid doing that ugly mess of dire wire, I absolutely will. So let's do you and you turn off. You and you are cool. Good. All right, so that's going to be going in. And then essentially I'd like you... Why is there lava here? I don't even know. Dire, please. It's a little dire wiry, but you get the point. Why are you having such a problem draining that power out? Producing 11.8 thousand RF a tick. Now max output is 11.8, but it's producing 6. So why are you not clearing out your backlog? That is the question. I mean, he's definitely getting a net gain of power, and a pretty decent one. I'm just curious why the backlog here isn't... Right, as soon as I hit high, it's cleared out. And this can produce, this can transfer 25,000, so he should be good. I mean, what's the max that you can accept? Max output 20,000. I would imagine that means it's the same max input, right? One would think. Let's tick accelerate that wood log, Direwolf. Does that help? No, it's still got a big backlog. What's up with that? Let me play with it a little bit. All right, I'm doing a little bit of an experiment here to try and figure out why this power line is just not draining. Just want to make sure that he's like draining properly. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I just want to know that for sure is working. Storing max output. So you're not going to tell me what your change is, are you? Which is kind of a bummer. But you should be out of ethylene soon. So yeah, like it gets low and then it spikes up again. To be fair, the cube is now full, right? But that internal line is just, it's bugging me. It's bugging me a little bit. The cube's pretty full. At this point, I am charging my flux capacitor to drain energy out of the cube so that we can produce power with the gas burner, right? And that should be a neat way to go. I'm just curious to see what happens with, like, why is this not empty right now? That's my question. I don't know. Oh. The ethylene's almost completely gone. I'm kind of just curious to see what'll happen. Also, it's daytime, so that doesn't help anybody. Let's make it nighttime, maybe, just to make this process a little bit more scientific, right? Let's take the solar panel out of the equation. And then we can hopefully figure out what's up. Okay, so you're low. Okay, you should be out then. See, why do you still have 246 power in there? Oh, because we do have ethylene. So that's how much you're probably producing right now in RF a tick. Yeah, 246 RF a tick is what we're producing at this point. It's interesting. All right, remember I said the more ethylene that's in the generator, the more RF a tick it produces? That's what we're experiencing here. All right, and now your RF is empty. Interesting. Well, I'm not going to worry too much about it. Auto eject back on. You're going to fill up with your internal buffer, of course. Your ethylene's going to fill up, and everything's going to start running again. And so, like, the burn rate affects how much power we're producing, right? 5.9 thousand RF a tick. When you fill up your internal buffer, 51.2, that should cut down the burn rate at some point. There we go. Burn rate's lower. Producing is lower. We're burning less ethylene, right? So less ethylene is being burned, less RF is being produced. But guess what the good news is? We have a ton of RF going on right now. A ton. I don't know exactly how much we have related to, like, maybe having this guy go in. But would you be cool doing some of that? Like, how bad does that impact this thing now? It's draining pretty quick, to be fair. That is really draining quickly. Okay, now we know the answer to that question. So that drains a lot of RF a tick, but it's cool to know that that's an option, right? It's really kind of cool to know that that's an option, at least. I should do something with regards to a lever or something that turns that thing on and off based on the energy cube. But still, the point here is we're pretty cool. Nope, those are not the buttons I want to click. Control click, shift click, alt click. Oh boy, what happened? What'd that do? Alt click, so that's to selected item. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna call that pretty wrapped up. I did fix the outside of the building, so it's not quite as much of a mess. I think that's how it was, right? So not terrible. A little dire wiry back there, if I'm being honest, but not horrible. And wrapping up point. So we'll wrap up the episode here. We'll come back next time. Now that we have plenty of power gen, we can get more into the methods of automation, which I think would be smart on our regard, right? Part of me would like to maybe automate a lot of these machines, but that requires a bunch of interfaces and a bunch of stuff. I'm debating whether I want to keep these machines up here and have another set downstairs for automation purposes, but frankly, those machines are a little bit pricey. So I'm hesitant to do that. And how are we doing on types here? Not terrible, but we are probably getting a little close. So we probably want 10 more of those things. So let's get 10 more 4Ks. And that'll give us lots of breathing room for stuff, right? What I should probably do, I don't know, man. How do I want to do this? How do I want to do this indeed? So I do want Mekanism for like all my auto crafting needs, but we don't necessarily, we do want the metallurgic infusers for auto crafting though, don't we? We really do. But once we set up auto crafting, we don't have to manually craft too much often anymore, right? And I could always just set up stuff down in the basement, right? So I think that sounds like that would be cool. I think that sounds good. All right, so let's do that. So wrapping up point for the episode. Devil20 signing off. Hope you enjoyed it. Lots and lots of RF power going on now. The Mekanism gas burning generator is always a really good way to generate power, provided that you have like the resource farm set up like that and everything. The cloche makes it, that much better. All right, guys, take it easy.